170 that is actually bolted into the ground, and then the ones that we're working on bolting in. It's a really hard job.
Yeah, one more here.
You know what I'd like to see regarding music? In Molino and Sonoma State University have the best musicians, students in their bands. If anyone's heard them, they're sensational. They've got a jazz band, a full symphony orchestra, and it's fabulous. And I'm sure if they play, the parents would come to be different kinds of
Cool, thank you. Well, I'll pause for a second and just like kind of share back what I think I heard. There was a lot of things, obviously, but what I heard is largely that people care a lot and about this place and about its effect on the local community, on your own experience where you live. That in particular, some of the concerns are about the outside sound, that does actually travel and you do deal with on a day-to-day, or especially during the summer, that when already the activities that are happening. I think that for those of people that are actually dealing with it, it is kind of annoying, and it's like there's some nervousness around what we would do to add more to that, and I hear those concerns, and then I also hear other people saying like, yeah, it's the summer. And this is part of like making our community have even more life, and there's a positive aspect to that that helps this community, helps continue to have a thriving. And it's not going to happen all year; it's only for just a period. And I do want to reiterate that like none of this proposal is amplified sound outside, like zero. Just to make sure that that's clear. Like, none of this affects anything that's happening outside. Sometimes there'll be individual permits that will be like today, where there's like a band outside, but that will be the same process as usual. What else did I hear? I think that it was nice to hear about the experience of the stumbling that happened with the Monterey Community Center. That they did have like the mistake of looking at things late. That 10 p.m. is the cutoff. That's the rule. Like besides films, that will be the cutoff. And so that's what we'll follow, and we won't screw that up. I think that one thing I heard here, and I do think that there's some experience of heritage in the community of the effect of alcohol. I've heard that. And as we've been here, we've observed there is that kind of edge of the community that is going through challenges around addiction of various kinds, and that's something we have to be sensitive to. In particular, since the outside area is going to be on that main pathway that people just walk through, and so we do need to really be firm about what kind of culture we are creating here that does include beer and wine, that it is something that is thoughtful and it's not people that are getting too rowdy. And it goes to the last comment about sort of the choices we make around what kinds of things we would do here beyond the films. Even with the film choices, we try to do a diversity of some kids films, some like more indie, independent films, some mainstream things. And I think that similarly, if we do other kinds of events once in a while, we need to be really thoughtful about what kind of people we're bringing together so that it does continue to be a community that is thoughtful and doesn't turn into the thing that some people are afraid of. I also heard some concerns about like the parking, so the kind of intersection when you brought up sort of that we are in the center of this town, and I think that's partly why people care a lot more about this place, because it is literally in the center of this town. And so continuing to work through issues that come up around how we are managing. We're very fortunate to have that public parking lot. And I did double check, by the way, with Parks and Rec, and they confirmed it's a public parking lot that can be used. Nobody can stay there overnight. That's the restriction. People can use that parking lot all the time. The last thing that I was going to say was, yeah.
I wonder, I don't know if you can get permission for this, but it is a public parking lot.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if there's something to consider about redirecting the parking traffic to the parking lot. Because the most difficult areas are on the side of the theater here. Yeah. When people are backing out, they can't see us, and you come through. It gets really nerve-wracking.
Now, on this side of the theater where the parking is, it's so close to the front cafe area. Are you going to continue to have that parking?
That's currently our plan, but it sounds like that's where some near accidents happen.
Yeah, I have no objection to you using the public parking. I think that's a great use of that space.
Well, thank you for that. Is there anything else? Mary.
I was going to say we can contact Caltrans and have them kind of look at
evaluate the
area,
situation.
we need crosswalks.
Yeah.
We'll take care of that.
Right. Okay.
Colin,
Yeah.
one last thing.
Yeah,
When
go.
I spoke with you last week, it was a great conversation. I've lived here for 68 years, so I've seen a lot of transitions. I think it's really, I think putting this here is great. The one last issue I have is if there are no quote boots on the ground here. And so it's great, I've got your phone number and an email address and you're in Hope. I talked to you last week about a dangerous area going down from the mountain patch. And you said, oh, well, so you'd like us to have gate locked and signs up? And, actually I came back up from the beach a few days later and it was still quite dangerous. And both of the gates were unlocked. Anybody could have walked in and gone down that hill and
Yeah, I mean, I know we talked about this last week, and I plan to get that done today. I think it's a fair concern about like the fact that the people that are truly involved in the day-to-day are not present here. Linda was that person when she was here, and she's moved on, and we are going to be recruiting somebody that will be that person who is present all the time. So that is definitely our intention. I mean, for our own personal lives as well, it would be better, to really have somebody who is boots on the ground, present, who is really the person that you guys will get to know in the same way that those of you who have no
Maybe someone here would like to apply.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, in fact, if there are people who are basically, people that would be great people to help, lead the Rio to this next chapter in terms of curating the right kinds of films and events that really do represent, the spirit of what you guys would like to see this theater become. Please encourage them to reach out to us because we are over these next, month or two. That's one of the things that we're going to be doing. So. Reach out, Seth, and then one last.
You can go first if you like.
One last thing, if you really want to endear yourself to local musicians and the community, have an open mic once in a while for the local bands and musicians. I think that would be good something.
Cool.
I think that's a great idea because the way that I've always seen this place is as a venue for the locals. And in fact, in all my decades and time of being here, I have never seen a business survive only catering to summer business. That it's required that they offer